I'm gonna go ahead and take attendance while you guys are working on that warm up. Man, I'm just flailing this morning. Come on, computer. Okay, here we go. All right, Annie, Zion.
Here.
Thank you. Heaven.
Here.
Thank you. Roxy.
Here.
Thank you. Peyton. Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, thank you. Amaya.
Here.
Thank you. Nakaya.
Here.
Thank you. Eddie.
Here.
Thank you. Shayla.
Here.
Perfect. Destiny.
Here.
Thank you. Sherlyn. Sherlyn Gonzalez. Brandy.
Here.
Thank you. Juan.
Here.
Thank you. Betsy.
Here.
Thank you. Matthew.
Here.
Thank you. Delamar.
Here.
Ayana. Ayana Presley. Oh, she was having Wi-Fi trouble.
Yeah, she was asking if you could check your Ramon.
Yeah, no, I have the message from her. And
oh God, my computer about to go dead.
Okay. Zulabet. Here. Thank you. Jerome.
Here.
Thank you. Jakaya.
Here.
Thank you. And Isai.
Here.
Perfect. Okay, so I have the missing people that I'm counting absent are Annie, Sherlyn, and I guess that's it. Annie and Sherlyn, are you either of you here? Okay. All right, so attendance is done. Your warm-up is on your screen. We're not gonna go through a warm-up today because it is just some personal questions. So just make sure they're on your warm-up sheet so that when you turn it in, I can read your responses. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with notes. Does anybody need a minute to either take a picture of, take a screenshot of, or do something with the questions for the warm-up if you're not done? Okay, so if you really did need some time, it's okay. I will post the recording so you'll be able to see it. In the recording, you can go back and finish. So we're going to switch to the document camera so that you guys can take some notes. Let me get my notebook. All right. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because it is really zoomed in. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so today's notes may seem a little bit similar to last class, but they are different. We are going to take notes on absolute value inequalities. So we're going to be solving those today. So we're taking notes, absolute value inequalities. Okay, this is second period B day, and it's 9:22. Okay. And these notes are different because this time, instead of equations, which is what we did last class, we're talking about inequalities. Okay, so these are slightly different. And we're just going to jump right in. So step one, when solving absolute value inequalities, is just going to be to isolate the absolute value, just like our last notes. This one is to isolate the absolute value expression. Okay, and we'll do an example of that together. Okay, so in our example, I'll write down the problem first. Okay, so I have a variable in there, and that's okay. Let me let be honest. Okay. So Anna, you just came in. The warm-up will be on the recording. It was just a bunch of like personal questions asking how you're feeling about online learning so far. So just go back to the recording at the end of the day today and look back at the warm-up. And this is all we've done since the warm-up, so nothing else. You haven't missed anything else. Okay, so step one we said was to isolate the absolute value expression. And our first example is the absolute value of x plus 2 plus 3 is greater than c, okay? Our goal is to get this chunk by itself. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. They cancel out on the left-hand side, giving me the absolute value of x plus 2 is greater than c minus 3, okay? This is our goal.
You're going too fast.
This is our goal in step one, okay? Okay, so we have isolated the absolute value in our inequality. We subtracted 3 on both sides. We got to our goal, which was having this on one side of the inequality by itself, and then this stuff on the other side. Okay. All right, in step two, we're going to pick the form of our inequality. Okay, so the form is something new that we haven't talked about. So step two is pick the form of your inequality. Okay, and there are 4 different forms we're going to talk about. Okay, so while you're copying that down, I'm going to make a little chart just with 4 different boxes. That's all. So I'm going to make a little thing here. I'm going to try to make it big enough so everything can fit. Okay, and we're going to have form 1, form 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Questions so far? What questions do you guys have? Okay, if there are no questions, we're going to start with Form 1. So in Form 1, we're going to have greater than or equal to, or I'm sorry, not or equal to, just strictly greater than. Okay. A greater than sign is going to have an absolute value. So we're going to have an absolute value expression, a strictly greater than sign, and we're going to have some sort of constant that's on the right-hand side. So in Form 1, the only thing that we're focusing on is this greater than sign, but we have it inside of our absolute value expression, just like we have up here in our example. Okay. And in Form 1, so our example happens to be Form 1. To solve the inequality, we have to split it into two different pieces, just like we did with the equation. Okay. So this is what Form 1 looks like. And we're going to rewrite Form 1 in two different ways. Okay, so the first way is dropping the absolute value and just keeping the sign the same, keeping the positivity of B the same. And the second way is to keep the x plus a the same, dropping the absolute value, but we flip the sign and flip the value of B. Okay, so the thing that happened here was the flipping of the sign and the flipping of the value of B. Okay, so we rewrite this form. The first way, we keep the sign the same. We keep the positivity of B the same, or the value of B the same. In the second way, we flip both the sign and we make B negative. So we flip sign and B. What questions do you guys have about splitting that up? Okay, once we have it split up, the last step is to solve for x. Okay. So in example 1, in the first example up here, we would identify it as Form 1, split it up into its two different inequalities, and then solve for x, and we would be done. Okay, and we'll do plenty of examples of this at the bottom after we've gone through all of the forms.
Okay, can you slow down, please?
I'm going as slow as I can, honey. All right, what questions do you guys have about Form 1? Okay. There are no questions. Let me double check one thing real quick. Sorry. Here we are. So today's meeting is here, and there should hopefully be, there is a link to the notes for today here. So if you feel like I'm going too fast, you need to go to our Canvas page and you need to open up this PDF. That way you can have it open. All right, but we're moving on. All right, so in Form 2, we're going to have greater than or equal to. Oops.